This is a tone brush. This will make every guitar player sound better right here. See, look at that. Already you can shred. All right, everybody, welcome to the space. Today, oh my God, this thing is so big. Today, we're gonna work on this. And we're back, and I'm feeling awesome. So, I talk a lot about guitars and guitars that we have at the shop, but I haven't talked to you about my guitars or things I play through or my band. Sort of thing. So I figured I would show you that today, kill two birds with one stone, because not only am I at CME selling guitars, I am also the owner of a company I started called Chicago Rigs. And what that is a pedal board building company that I started by accident. My good friend Mason Marangella from Vertex Pedals basically taught me how to build my first board. And then I posted it, and some other people wanted me to build a board for them, and then on and on and on it went. So anyway, enough talking. Let me just show you guys around, you know, just so we can all meet each other. This is my pedal board right here. This is a board I built. Let's see. Let's take a look at what we got on this bad boy. So I love this, the slower. This was a gift from one of my pedal board clients. He knows who he is, and I'm so thankful. I love that. This is the Neon Egg. It's a phenomenal pedal. It's got built-in reverb. It's got compression, and I think that's echo. Yeah, tape echo as well. This is the RJM switcher, which I love, the PBC 10. I've got a little expression pedal that I only use for my Specular right here. Lehle, I don't know, I always pronounce it wrong. Volume pedal. Of course we use buffers here. I love this buffer, this little Stowaway from Mesa, awesome. Sick As from Bondi Effects, great pedal. Benson Germanium Fuzz, love this. And this little group right here, let me see here. I love these pedals and I love this company. This trio of pedals comes to you from Baltimore Sonic Research Institute. I absolutely fell in love with these guys when they came and did or were part of the pedal showcase at Chicago Music Exchange. This is such a killer chorus. Love this chorus. Beautiful reverb, and then you've got a really killer overdrive right here. But the headroom that you get from these pedals is just really spectacular. I haven't quite heard anything like it, so after I played these three, I was like, I want all three of those, so that's what I did. For amplifiers, here, let me tell you this. I love amps more than I love guitars. I know. Well, some people are like that. Actually, I'm finding a lot of people are like me in that sense. These are my babies. I have a I always forget which one is which. I have a 1973, that's a 73, custom HiWatt 50. This is a 77. This, I believe that's a 76 cab. It's a front loader, so speakers are loaded from the front. Let me tell you a little story about this cabinet right here. I've had these heads for quite some time, right? I used to run both of the heads through 212 cabinets. I've used 2-rock cabinets. I've used high-tone cabinets. I've used Emperor cabinets, Tyrant cabinets. I've used a ton of cabinets. They're all great. Love them all. But I did not realize how beautiful this HiWatt truly is until I put it into a proper HiWatt cabinet, closed back 412 from the 70s. That cabinet made that head come to life in a way that, man, it's unbelievable. This is my vibe here, my soul, my heartbeat. It's all HiWatt. I love them. My favorite band, one of them, is the Verve. I love the Verve. My favorite singer of all time, and probably one of the greatest songwriters of all time, as far as I'm concerned, is Elliott Smith. Sadly, as you know, we lost him. These are songs. Now, guitars. This is what I play. I have 2 Novos. So, this is the first Novo I ever got, and it is affectionately known as Black Hole Sun. Now, the reason that I fell in love with Novo is because we started carrying them at Chicago Music Exchange in 2016. I think it was 2016. And a Black Hole Sun came to the shop, and because I believe like 5 of these were built. When we got ours in 16, I think there were only, it may have been the first or second one. Anyway, I loved the aesthetic. I just thought it was the coolest looking guitar I'd ever seen. So I called Dennis, and I was like, Dennis, I want a guitar like that. So he took a year and built this guitar for me. And it took so long for a number of reasons. Number one, I think that he was looking for the right piece of wood that had the right knot in it, but it doesn't have the trim, it's a hardtail. And you'll notice humbucker and a P90. So you can't get this configuration anymore in the Cirrus. This is an extremely unique guitar. It's my favorite guitar in the world. I just absolutely love it. This is a throwback SLE 101, and I'm pretty sure that we have a Fralin P90. If you look at this neck, it's like, I don't know if that's coming through, but it's some of the most beautiful flame maple you're ever gonna see. The neck is absolutely perfect. I just love this guitar so much. I love it, I love it, I love it. It's like my favorite thing. My other Novo, oh, I'll tell you this too. They don't do this anymore, but this wrap tail, this bridge here is a Schroeder, and I love this thing. You can intonate it, you've got set screws per string, wrap, super stable, really awesome. Look at this guitar, man. Look at that. So definitely, this one is hella unique. I mean, I don't think you could build this guitar ever again if you wanted to. All right, second Novo. Another Cirrus J in Silver Burst Sparkle. And the cool thing is that Dennis, because he's so awesome, added a little bit of red flake. I don't know if you're gonna see that, but it's got a little bit of red flake in the finish, which is so beautiful. Throwback SLE 101s, no wrap tail, obviously. Neck profile is pretty much the same. I don't use trims. You know, I love Jazzmasters and Jazzmaster shapes, but I don't ever use tremolos. So, you know, I was like, let's just hardtail this bad boy, you know, go that route. But I love this guitar too. I use a lot of tunings in my band, and it's nice to, you know, grab a guitar and not have to sit on stage and tune to your weird tunings, because nobody wants to stick around for that. But the reason we're here is because my good friend and client, Dani Rabin, who I'm sure a lot of you know, had me work on this board here for him. Now, I didn't build this thing in its entirety. Brian O'Million actually built it. And if you know his work, he's absolutely incredible. Brian is the man. And I believe Brian started his own shop, which I'm glad he did, because he deserves to have his own thing going down. So anyhow, but with this board, there are some connectivity issues, I guess, that have happened. Dani tours a lot. Dani's out there playing. He's a professional musician. So, you know, with that kind of thing hitting the road, you know, things break. So that's where guys like me come in. So why don't we take a look at this and see what we can find. All right. So this is Dani's board. Pretty cool setup. Trying to make this as smooth as possible. A ton of color options as far as tone is concerned. But apparently we have an issue with this guy, this cable right here underneath. And I believe it's this cable underneath here. So we're gonna plug this bad boy in. We're We're gonna see if we can replicate the problem, and then we're gonna get our soldering iron out, which actually I should turn that on right now. Get you warmed up and get to work. All right, so right off the bat, I know I've already found one problem, which is what he said was a problem. We have a problem with this cable here. A lot of this stuff is just, you know, trial and error. Just see what's going on, what's not going on. I'm only really able to replicate one situation that he's referenced. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put that HiWatt on standby. All right, so this guy right here appears to be the culprit, and man, this is such a fun little guy to have to get to. Oh, look out, there she is. Look at that. So, gonna be careful because the last thing we wanna do is undo the work we've done. This cable right here is the culprit. Tight spaces here, you know. It's tricky because you're working in tight spaces. So interesting because that cable looks absolutely brilliant and perfect. I see no issues with this. This is my coworker, Bob. Coworker Bob right here. Good dude, Bob. A couple reasons why this could be happening. It could have been a cold solder. See, the tricky thing also here is how much room do I have? Because if I want to start over, which is kind of what I want to do, I gotta make sure I have enough room. And I feel like I do. So it's a risk, but it's a risk I'm gonna take. Let's see, we want a nice straight cut. Gotta make sure though, because mess that up and then we are in not good land. Okay, we did it. That right there, my friends, is called commitment. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a little bit of solder here, heat this up really nice. That's done, so now the real fun part starts. I have this awesome tool. Look at that. I love that tool. It's the best thing I ever bought was that darn thing right there. Okay. It's pretty meticulous stuff, you guys. It is like threading a needle. Threading a needle. And by the way, this is why you pay people what you pay them to do this work, because look at that. This is one cable. That's one cable. If you're doing a switching system here, you're going to be doing this 20, how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, 12, 13, 14, 15. I mean, possibly, I don't know, 15, possibly 30 times just on one side. That doesn't even include getting to the pedal. And if you're using stereo pedals, then you're having to create stereo cables. Now those TRS cables, creating those, oh boy, let me tell you something. That is some work, y'all. That is why when pedal board builders tell you what the cost is, that's why it's what it costs. So now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to test this out. One thing that I do all the time, test, 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 everything. I don't wanna fix that or think I fixed it, move on to the other cable, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what doesn't work? You know, God forbid I run into that situation. So, all right. Now what I want to do, I'm going to jiggle that cord. I feel good about that. Good sign, good sign, good sign. We like that. So now we're gonna move on to that other cable. All right, guys, this is probably a better view, I imagine. A little more comfortable. Okay, so the other cable he said was giving him problems was this one down here. Now, oh shoot, I was not able to replicate that problem. That's the problem. I mean, I really tried hard to make this happen again and I just couldn't. So we'll take a look though. We'll see what we can see. Perhaps, well, hey, listen. We will, we'll take it apart. We'll take it apart and do it and build it again. So we're gonna cut close. All right, commitment, we've done it. That's how you commit. Heat this up really good. We don't want any cold solders. Heat it up good. Look at me. So see what we're doing. So you put solder, you pre-solder. First heat up your pins here. Heat them up real good so you don't have any cold solder joints. Then you put solder there. That way when you put your cable there, you're able, it just kind of melts right in. So whenever you see Mason do this, Mason Marangella at Vertex, guy's a wizard. He's just like, he's like, yeah, and then you're all done. You're like, what the heck? How'd you do that so fast, Mason? Pedal boards to the stars, baby. That's how he did it so fast. Hope I don't get demonetized because somebody's playing Credence right now. That'd be hilarious. When you're building these boards, you're really trying to make these cable runs as tight as possible because you want to make them look really, you know, you don't want a bunch of slack. The whole point of building a board is that you have nice this. It's all nice and organized. You don't have a bunch of slack. It's beautiful. But when you have to go back in there, if you have a problem with a cable fails after time or whatever, and you've got to cut it and then reinsert it, well, you don't have a ton of play. You do not have a lot of play. So you got to be really, really careful. Something that Mason showed me a while ago is the tone brush right here. So this, you guys, this is a tone brush. This will make every guitar player sound better right here. See, look at that. Already you can shred. You're shredding. You're shredding right now. You're shredding more than you would have before. Tone brush. I'm gonna take this here. Wow. That's beautiful. Okay, I feel good about it. I think it's all good. All the cables are good. Nothing scratchy, no problems. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Just to be super, super thorough, let's do this. Let's take those cables that we messed with there, that we fixed, and let's just jiggle them around a little bit, move them. Okay, feel good. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk to Dani, and we are gonna get this board back to him tonight. And the reason that we wanna do that is because he's got a show on Tuesday, and I want him to play with this board, and I don't want any issues. I don't like issues. Don't like issues. Okay, hopefully this was cool. I don't know. God, this light that I have here is super bright. It's like an episode of Saw. An episode of Saw? I don't think they have episodes. I think they're movies. Anyway, that's the space. So let's go get this over to Dani.